Good evening, everyone. I, Ritika Saxena, would like to welcome Dr. Subhashish Sircar on the behalf of whole JKBS fraternity. Dr. Sircar holds an PhD in engineering from Michigan State of University and MBA from Wharton School of Business. He is a proven innovator with more than 15 years of experience in managing all aspects of technology, transfer, and commercialization of innovative products. Dr. Sarkar is the founder and CEO of Health Vector, which is a personal health analytics company. He lost his close friend due to cardiovascular complication. This incident changed his life and his mission to a personal mission to eradicate non-communicable chronic disease like diabetes, hypertension, CVD, which was a genius of health. Today, HV serves top diagnostic lab, hospitals, and insurance companies pan-India and abroad with a deep dive in the personal health analytics space. HV benchmark with the current, past, and future health of an individual and health stakeholders make more informed personal health and business decisions. One of their projects is well known as the Smart Health Report. Today, we have Mr. Sarkar's mother, Madam Maya Sarkar, and his brother, Ashmesh Sarkar, whom we welcome wholeheartedly. Now, I would request Mr. Sarkar to address the gathering and give us more insight. Sir, please.
Ritika, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Appreciate your kind words. What I wanted to do is I wanted to first tell you that I'm extremely excited to be actually doing this because I did have almost 8 years of journey into this whole innovator space, entrepreneurship space. And in that time, there's so much I learned. I'm so glad I took this, step in my life, even though it was late in my career. But I'm extremely happy that I did what I did. Okay, so what I have done is I have created a short presentation. This is something that I felt like would be an easier way to communicate with you. So I would like to share that presentation now. Just give me a second to get that up.
Sure, sir.
Is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. So the first thing I want to tell you is, although I was not physically at JKBS, today I took a virtual tour from your website. And I really felt that it's a very beautiful place, beautiful entrance. I visited your library, your classrooms, your auditorium, cafeteria, dormitories. It was fantastic. Such a wonderful place to be studying. And then I also noticed how many different accolades you guys have received for being one of the top business schools in the country. This is really good. I'm so happy to address a group like this. And I also had an opportunity to be talking to Professor Suman Deb. And Professor Deb told me, just by speaking to him for a little bit of time, I realized how dedicated the staff is, whose only goal is to see you succeed. So students, I think you're in very good hands. This is a very good opportunity for you to take full advantage of and do the best you can. So as I said before, I'm very happy to be presenting to such an illustrious group of students. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Now, one thing that I will do is I will start off this presentation by giving you a question that I'm going to try to get answers from as many people as would like to answer. Is you got a lot of things. You put in a lot of effort to go to this business school. The business school is putting a lot of effort for you. So I need you to think through this whole presentation that I make. What is that one most important thing that you learned in business school? Okay, I would like to know that one most important thing. I'm not asking you to tell me 5, 6 things, just that one thing. I want you to see if you can give me that answer at the end. So having said that, let me tell you a little bit about Health Vectors. Health Vectors is a company that is in Bangalore, 8 years plus, focused in the personal health analytics space. As you can see on the right-hand side, we take a regular diagnostic report and convert it into a smart report. And this is quite a bit of work that goes into it. Or we, as I said below, as you see, we take a number of different parameters, we analyze them simultaneously. I was told that something like 70,000 calculations, 10,000 decisions are made, because we're looking at data holistically. We're looking at the health holistically with all these parameters together. And with the help of AI and expert-driven models, we generate these reports in a few seconds. It should be available in lots of different diagnostic labs around the country. It's already available in Lal Path Lab SRL, which is close to you. So we have 15 brilliant minds in Bangalore, data analytics, IT, medical domain expertise, and we are transforming the way in which personal health data is represented and consumed. I would like to add also that we are able to actually predict your chances of getting diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease like heart attack and stroke, and tell you what you can do to avoid that happening to you. So the next thing that I wanted to also tell you is, as I told you before, we work with various diagnostic labs, large hospitals, insurance companies, pan-India and outside the country. So when I was asked to give a talk on leadership, I chose to talk on, leadership in entrepreneurs, because I am deeply an entrepreneur right now. You cannot take that out of me. I'm first an entrepreneur than anything else today. And so what I did was I put together a bunch of traits, which I think are very important to me. And I hope that you take something out of this conversation, which will help you, become a fantastic human being, and then whatever else happens after that. Okay. So I chose the first trait is humility. I think this is the most important trait that you'll have to have if you have to become a true leader. A leader cannot be haughty, because that cannot work for too long. The next thing is that I keep saying this, I will repeat this over and over again. It's a very difficult trait. It comes with maturity and age. Some people get it early. Let's hope that you all can get it very early in your career also, because it's an extremely important trait. It helps you understand your mistakes, helps you learn, and it's okay to say, it teaches you that it's okay to say I'm wrong, even to your juniors. That's okay. Okay. And believe it or not, I've received the most help in my life when I have been humble. So there is no mistakes in all of this. You have to be humble in order to achieve any success in life. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you're not, it doesn't really matter. The next thing is trust. It takes years to build, seconds to break, and forever to repair. So my experience is that the more you trust people, either your own people, your vendors, the more they deliver for you. You don't have to be blindly trusting people, but you can check sometimes, but give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay. It frees up your time to do important things. It stops you from micromanaging. And it also makes you feel comfortable to know that even when you are not going to be there for whatever reason, the company will just run fine, because you have known to trust these people and they have delivered for you over and over again. So the next piece, and it could have been the number one piece also, is what I called honesty and ethics. Now, as you guys know, I've been to, I did my MBA from Wharton Business School. And in Wharton, in the first day in school, they told me that, just imagine how it would feel to be on the headlines with handcuffs. So, that tells you everything. You want to lead, you want to win, you want to succeed, you want to do it at all cost, but not at the cost of honesty and ethics. You pay a big price, and not just you, everybody around you suffers. You make those mistakes, it is only transient success that you get. Everything disappears in no time. So that's what I want you to also take back with yourself. If nothing else, this is something that you should remember. There should be zero compromise. There are people who have left my office at 5:15, and I was returning to my office at that time. And when I checked the timesheet, they had written 5:30 is when they left. The next morning, I fired them. And the reason behind that is not so much that I know that they will correct themselves, they may have made a mistake, but to teach them a lesson that honesty and ethics go far beyond anything else in life. And I would really want you to take that extremely seriously. Do not compromise, please. It is also something that drives you to give 100% to whatever you do, whether it's working for a company or whatever you do. Lastly, it is extremely important to also understand that dishonesty does not pay. You will always know, something inside you will always be telling you what is right and what is wrong. So choose the right. Listening skills. This is something that people don't talk too much about. And you know, when I was at your age or even older, believe me, this was something I did not have. What I wanted to say was the most important thing, and nothing else mattered. And I cannot listen. And you know, patience and listening skills come together. So patience is not something that you have when you're very young. So as I said, you know, many of these traits come a little later in life, but try to practice it from now. And not just listening for listening's sake, it should be mindful listening. That means you're giving a piece of your mind to the person who's speaking. There are so many leaders out there, but the ones that are respected the most, you will notice, are very good at listening. And people feel respected when you listen also. And only if you listen can you understand and analyze a situation. That is why I think listening is such an important thing. The other thing that I will tell you right now is about thinking big and believing in your vision. You know, there will be lots of obstacles in your life, but you know, this is a habit. Either you start thinking big now and try to make this your habit, inculcate it now, because you know what? You can also develop a habit for dreaming small. And if you develop that habit of dreaming small, you'll always dream small. So it's your choice, a choice that you have to make right now. It's a habit that you have to develop right now. Think big, change the world. Do not sit there and say, okay, I'm happy. Never be satisfied. It's one step beyond that. Okay. Yes, there will be barriers. So what? Take the steps to overcome the barrier, one step at a time, but still overcome those barriers. Only then you will achieve that big thing. Here is your chance to change the world. Believe me, the whole world will conspire to make you successful. You know, once you have made up your mind and you want to be successful, everybody conspires with you. They come together. They want to help you. So think big and go find your success. There will always be naysayers. Listen to them, but blaze your own way. Find your own way to succeed. When somebody used to tell me when I was at your age, oh, this cannot be done or that cannot be done, I used to tell them, watch me. You know, and that became a habit. Sometimes I failed, so what? But it was my habit. And I'm telling you, I have more success to share with you than more failures. You know, so that is because the habit was there. Success was something that was gone into my head. And I really want you to think about it very strong. Now, you know, Dr. Kalam, Abdul Kalam, he said this very nicely. Dreaming is not the thing that you see in sleep, but it is that thing that does not let you sleep. So you guys have to decide what is it that you want to choose, good sleep or something that does not let you sleep. As I said, keep thinking big. Don't give up. Never give up. Don't be scared to fail. You know, that's another thing I'll tell you. Do not be scared to fail, because, you know, people who are scared to fail never actually try something new. See, you won't fail. I promise you, you won't fail. If you do the same thing every day, you will not fail if you try to do it the next day. So you have to make a choice. Do I do the same thing every day, or do I take one step ahead every day? It's a choice that we have to all make. Remember, it's okay to fail. You know, nothing wrong in failing. There is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong in failing. Leaders have to make sure that people around them are not scared to fail. You come to Health Vectors, open invitation, and you talk to anybody out there. they are celebrated for failures, not just for success. They're celebrated for failures. That's because, it's okay. That's because we are doing something that is path breaking. You will fail. If it was so easy, everybody would have been doing it. In the US, and sadly it is not in the US, a company or an individual that has failed several times is very coveted. So that means a failed startup is coveted. Investors like you more. So they say that a person who has failed knows what it will take to succeed the next time. That's why they're coveted. And also, I will tell you, don't try to make a big splash. Do the small things right. You may have heard of MVPs. Create a minimally viable product so that the concept can be easily understood. Okay. And this is something that I keep telling people. I have talked about this MVP. Fail small. Think done this then become at it. What is the showing and not several things at the same time? The thing that I wanted to tell you that we have try to act. We've just failed at doing things, failed and failed and failed, but we got up and did this again and again and again. Today, I don't know if you're successful, but I can tell you we've brought a lot of new things to life. Now, success. I will have this discussion about what is success in a little bit, but I wanted to let you know that whenever you succeed, you want to succeed with everybody. If you try to succeed alone, it will never work. So leaders always use we instead of I when they succeed. You always succeed as a team, not individually. And this includes monetary gains. So what we have done at Health Vectors, for example, we have well articulated a policy of sharing monetary success. If I succeed, if the company succeeds, if you succeed, and it gives us monetary success, the whole company succeeds. The whole company actually participates in that success. We also share failures so that it's not like you have to go through failures alone. That is also very, very important. And again, sharing success in a company is a culture. It creates a very conducive and a very positive environment. And I want you to know that that environment is what it takes years to build. But once you have built it, it's so easy to keep on moving, one story to the next story of success. The other thing that I've noticed, and I've done this so many times, is that we end up being very judgmental. And it's not just about somebody, it's about my competition. I will end up saying, oh, that guy is not doing so much. We are far ahead of them. I've said this many, many, many times and found out later I was absolutely wrong. So successful leaders take the time to understand and they don't rush to judgment. Again, this will come with time, guys. You have to be patient, but try to get this, don't rush into a judgment. I have interviewed many people, good people. I have let them go and later on found out how good they were. I made a mistake because I was biased and I was judgmental. I made my decision based on few things, whereas I lost the whole picture because I was judgmental. In sports, I was a captain of a cricket team, for example. There, I let go some good players who wanted to play for our team. We didn't have enough room for everybody, but we let some very good players go because I was, again, judgmental. I made some decisions way before I could actually see the entire package of this person. Don't judge your competition or their products, always remain humble. I tell you, you are not perfect, therefore don't try to judge others. The other thing that I have been very lucky all my life is to be immersed in situations or in actually environments where innovation was a huge thing. Okay, so I have been very successful. I'm so happy to say every square inch of health vectors reeks innovation. We talk about innovation, innovation, innovation every day. You know, innovation is what sustains companies. That is something that you have to understand, that if you are a Me Too company, you know, it does not quite work. As a leader, you should take on this responsibility. I have done this. If you are put in a position to innovate, try to find some way. You might be doing something very simple, but do it in a very innovative, in a way that nobody else ever thought of. Maybe you will do something or you will succeed. Maybe you won't, but at least you tried to innovate. Okay. Now, as I said to you before, if you go and create a Me Too product, there are many times I've seen something is happening and works well in the US, you try to bring it into India and try to run it. Yes, you will be successful maybe for a short duration, but you won't be successful in the long run. It is very important. If you are going to, you know, if you are going to sell potatoes at the end of the street, be the best potato seller there ever was. Again, I'm saying this to exaggerate the fact that do the best you can, just don't settle for being the second best. Innovation needs, it's not in just the product. You know, you could have business model innovation, a new way of taking a product, same product, to the end user. How you position your product is very important. You know, what service you bring is else's. Sooner or later, that becomes your DNA. Now, even today, I'm always working towards it. Sure, you are nation. You're doing everything. You work hard, but have the process. Okay. Stress the entire environment. It's extremely important for you as a leader to create this entire balance. It's not the job of an HR. Many times people say it's the job of an HR to bring this work-life balance. It is not. It's your job as a leader. Do not try to bypass it. See, there could be many, many traits, okay, or many facets of leadership that I could keep talking about. But the ones that have touched me the most are the ones that I have put together in this short presentation that I did. Okay. Now, if you look on the right-hand side, it tells you, gives you an idea as what health vectors is all about. It's not about our smart reports. We have built the smart report, but more importantly, we have built a health analytics engine. And from that personal health analytics engine, which is built on the basis of AI, on the basis of data analytics, on the basis of predictive analytics, we are now able to not only create smart reports, we are able to create diet plans, we are able to create, you know, something called a health Sybil, which is basically taking your past, present, and future health and converting that into a number which the insurance company and the individual both get to know. And it tells them that your insurance premium is high for your health insurance because you have these conditions. And it helps both parties. So the analytics engine that I'm talking about is able to give that kind of an insight by looking at the past, present, and future health of an individual and create those kinds of solutions, which is called the health Sybil. So there are various other things that this engine does. I will not go into all the details. At Health Vectors, believe me, in my we built this from scratch. For as long as I've been, we have achieved quite a lot, but we have a long way to go. Are we successful? I do not know the answer to that question. All I know that it is a very elusive definition, success. How do you define success? If I ask each of you, you will each tell me one different way in which you measure success. Is it because we have been able to save a few lives? Because I remember I told you we have been able to predict who's going to get a heart attack, who's going to get a stroke in the next 5 years, who's going to get hypertension, and we have been able to show them what they can do to avoid that. So yeah, maybe we have helped some people save their lives. Is that how you define success? We have helped pave a lot of careers. Lots of people came to our to Health Vectors. Now they are working in a bigger position in number of good companies out there. Is that success? Is that how we should define success? We have been able to pave people's careers. Is it the new way of how we report health data, how we actually are able to tell so many things inside a health report, you know, by looking at just data that is now reported just as numbers? We are changing the way this whole thing is done around the world. Is that one way of saying that we are changing the world? Is that how you define success? We will end up making some money also in the process. Is that defining success? Is that how people define success? Or is happiness the only thing that you define success by? So each person will have their own definition. I will leave you with your own thoughts, but I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity. What I would like to do now is I'd like to play a short video on smart health reports for health vectors. Do we have time? I think we have a few minutes. So let me share this video with you. And after that, I will take questions, and I'll also take the answer to the question that I asked. What is that one thing that you learned in your business school to date? So let me play this video. Can you hear it? Can somebody tell me, could you hear it?
Sir, can you reshare this screen? Stop sharing, then again share it.
Okay, sorry. Can you see my screen?
No, sir. Yes, it's starting
Okay.
presenting.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
I can see now.
Uh, um, so
Sir, there is no sound.
okay, okay. So I'll leave that out for now. Let's go back to my presentation. Just a second.
Sir, please unmute it. Uh,
Yeah, can you hear me now?
yes, yes, absolutely clear.
Yeah, some reason it got muted on its own when I had to come back. Sorry. Okay, so I would like to go ahead and see if I can get some answers to this question that I had asked. What is that one thing that you have learned in school? I'll stop sharing now and listen. Go ahead. Anybody? Uh, can somebody guide each of these people, or somebody can? Okay, maybe what would be the
Hello.
best way to get some answers? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, good evening, sir. Sir, Kamlesh this side.
Hi, Kamlesh. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, sir, the answer to your question from me will be that in business school I learned what not to do. Instead of learning what to do, I learned not to do. And on the same grounds, I have a similar question which I want to raise.
Okay. Go ahead.
So actually, from the starting, I had a delusion that finance was my field. So recently, while talking with some of my mentors, I came to know that I chose finance because I had a passion for numbers, and
Okay.
they suggested that I should go for data analytics and business analytics. So as you are a data scientist, I want to know that what should be a starting point, because till now I had a mindset of finance, and I focused all my energy towards that. But now if I want to change my focus, what will be my starting point for that?
Okay. So, Kamlesh, right? Kamlesh, so let me tell you, you're, I wouldn't say absolutely wrong, but quite wrong in assuming that I'm a data scientist. I'm a material scientist. I'm a materials engineer. My background is metallurgy. I also like numbers like you. Okay. I just did not care whether I want to go into data science or whether I want to go to finance. Those are all small, small tools. After business school, also, you'll be learning a lot of things. Just go solve a problem and then find out what is it that you need to know to be able to solve that problem. Don't go with the mindset that I want to be a data scientist. Therefore, somebody give me data and give me a problem and then tell me what problem you want to solve. None of those things really happen in real world. In real world, you will be just thrown into a situation where you have to answer, where you have to solve a problem. Now, take everything around you. This is not your time to decide whether you want to become a data scientist. Yeah, that's a degree. Yeah, if that degree because some people I look at it from, can you think yourself? It's a hobby that development of 10-year-old, he lost his due to competition. I can see what will it take to solve that problem. And I ended up doing what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a lot of data all around me, and data tells me wonderful stories. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Hello, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible.
Okay, go ahead. Anybody has any other question?
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
So good evening, sir.
Yes.
My name is Sonal.
Okay.
Sir, as you mentioned, some traits of leadership that you personally develop and learn over a period of time.
Mhm.
So I have a question that among all the traits that you mentioned, what is the one most important trait that you demonstrate as an entrepreneur or as a leader?
You know, I think from a young age, I have been a innovator, and I think as an entrepreneur, taking risk is something very important. Okay, so I think that is one trait that has taken me quite far. So if you really look at innovation, and that being my DNA, that's one trait that I think as a leader has helped me tremendously. People all around me are willing to take risk. We are okay to fail. All these are traits that has made me where I am today. I'm not saying I'm successful to where I want to be, but at the same time, that's one trait that I will say has taken me quite far.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Welcome.
Hello, sir. Very good morning. I am Muntajir Alam here, sir.
Okay.
I have one question. What is the definition of success, sir, according to you?
For me, the definition of success is happiness. That's the one thing that makes me, whatever makes me happy is my definition. And I find a lot of happiness. You know, people all around me know that I even, I'm past my 60 age right now. I'm working almost 16 hours a day. You know, I am never feeling even a bit tired when I go to bed. And it's the same exact thing. I will keep saying this to you over and over again. You know, if you want to really, if you really want to succeed, you know, there should be a burning desire, and for me, that is what it is. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, okay, there's another one.
So, sir, I have few more questions from rest of the students. So I will ask on behalf of them. Hello.
Yeah,
Sir,
go
I'm
ahead.
audible.
Yes.
Yeah. So, sir, the first question is from Shweta Thakur. As Health Vector is an app-based service from which provide doctor diagnostic labs as well as individual to track medications and health. So, how will you serve being? Hello.
Yeah, can you repeat the question, please?
Sure, sir. So the first question is from Shweta Thakur. As Health Vector is an app-based service firm which provide doctor, diagnostic lab, as well as individual to track the health. So how well is the service being for this coronavirus tracking as and also helping doctor to utilize this app for providing meditation for the same?
I'm having a hard time hearing you. Is it okay to, I'm so sorry. I cannot hear you.
It's okay,
Uh,
sir. I'll repeat it once again. Or should I write the question?
yeah, please write your, or repeat it now. It's okay now.
Okay, sir. I'll repeat. As Health Vector is an app-based service firm which provide doctor, diagnostic labs, as well as individual to track, medicate their health. So how well is your service being for this coronavirus tracking and also helping doctor to utilize the app for providing medication for the same?
Okay, thank you. We have created an app which we called health. It is called the COVID-19 Riskometer, and this Riskometer is goes quite deep into the medical science to actually tell you not only what is your risk of getting COVID-19, but what are what are the chances that it could become a serious problem for you. And we also tell you if your risk is, let's say, 45% today, what are the things you need to do in order to bring that risk down to the lowest possible values. So that is what we do at Health Vectors. We have created a separate app. It's you should be able to look it up on Google. It's called COVID-19 Risk-O-Meter, RISK-O-meter, and it's made by it's created by Health Vectors. So please look it up.
Okay, sir. So the next question is from Srishti Moore. In today's world, we can see how important it is to strengthen our health industry. So what's your take on it and how you are going to enhance Health Vector for the same?
So this is what Health Vectors has been doing all along, so I want you to know that right from day one, what we have been really trying to do is trying to find out ways to help people before they fall sick. And if you notice today, of the 4.2 or maybe 3.3% of the people who are dying due to COVID, I don't know if you know these statistics, but of that 3.3%, 48% are people who have 3 or more comorbidities or other 3 ailments in addition to corona. A person is dying just because of corona is 1.2% of the number of people who are dying. So 3.2% people who are getting corona, dying due to coronavirus. Of that, 1.2% of that 3.3%, 1.2% is dying just because of corona. So you can imagine how important it is to take care of your health. We are into predictive and preventive health. That's what Health Vectors is all about. And I think this is going to take us quite far now. In fact, corona has really opened lots of people's eyes. And I think this will help a lot of people, and we will be there to help everybody. Thanks for asking that.
So the next question is from Supratim Ghosh. As we all know that IT industry is one of the biggest and growing industry nowadays. So how much healthcare IT companies giving their inputs there?
So when I started this company, because I told you I lost a friend who was just 32 years old working for an IT company. For me, I just took a van. I took a few people. I went from campus to campus of these corporations. I did the health check for them, told them what their risks are, showed them how they can reduce their risk. So this entire solution that I have built was started off for the IT folks. Okay. Today, IT folks are using it the most because that is the population that we have been able to cater to the most. But the population that we are helping the most right now are people who are in their 40s and 50s. I'm not saying they are not in the IT industry, but the population in the IT industry is a lot younger. And what I'm trying to also tell you is that, so the culture is being developed at a very young age, and I'm hoping that they will follow this as they move along. Whoever has used our smart reports or whoever has used our solution, they always make sure that they come back and ask for the report the second time. So we have sold more than 500,000 such reports up till now, or created more than 500,000 reports up till now. So you can imagine that people are getting used to this, and slowly this will become a storm. We are right in the middle of it right now.
Okay, so the next question is from Prince. Do you think that health budget should increase in the budget of the country from 2% to 5-6% to improve the condition of health infrastructure?
Oh, there is no question. Seat. Not just prevent it's years that actually help a person regain his complete mobility, complete form should also be properly funded. And I think the most important thing is not so much just the funding, but incentivization. If you keep your health well, okay, then you'd be incentivized. In China, I don't know if you know this, and China is not a very good example these days, but in China, doctors incentivized if they don't have patients. If they have patients, then they get less money into them. So so these are the difficult things for all other countries to actually have. But I think budget will go a long way. I think we are already conversation on in that space. Everybody is talking about that. People are much more aware. So thank you for asking. I hope that that does happen. In fact, all the developed countries have this. We should be there also.
So the next question is from Nishan Kumar. How entrepreneurs should access their business in first 5 years of beginning of their business that are successful or not?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Sure, sir. How entrepreneurs should access their business in first 5 years of beginning of their business that they are successful or not?
Sorry.
Hello.
Well, one biggest rate is the number of people. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Really sorry, we are having some problem. Okay. So, I want to tell you. Yeah. What I would like to tell you that. Again, sorry. Yeah. Okay. What I would tell you is the first 4 to 5 years, measure your success, measure your success.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
In that population you wanted to serve, so you have to at those kinds of metrics. Names, I do not relate to profit numbers. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the next question is post-COVID, how artificial intelligence, data analytics, entrepreneurship, and job will come out in future, and how telemedicine will resolve with the technology. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
About medicine, is that question related to is the question related to telemedicine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me?
Should I repeat the question?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I will repeat the question, sir.
Go ahead.
Post-COVID, how artificial intelligence, data analytics, entrepreneurship, and job will come out in future, and how telemedicine will resolve with the technology.
Okay.
Sir, it's written on chat box.
Yeah, let me chat box and see the questions. Yeah. No. Okay. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. I got the question now. See, artificial intelligence is here to stay. Whether it is for telemedicine or whether it is for data analytics, whether it is to solve other problems, I mean, it will be all pervasive. So the important thing that we have to do right now is to make sure that we embrace this. And I'll tell you how telemedicine can help. It can even recognize your voice, and from a voice sample, it can tell you what are the problems that you may be having. That's how deep this can go. You know, your voice, your voice fluctuations or your voice attenuations, all of these things are extremely can also be read. So this is a simple example of how people are trying to use telemedicine to many different things. So increase in in the resolution of the screens that you use. All of this to you know that post COVID, actually the telemedicine became something that is very important for everybody. All the doctors are now have been allowed to use telemedicine, and now people are finding all sorts of different ways in making telemedicine a story for a long time. What's the next question?
So the next question is from Kartik Marwa.
Okay, so the question I've already answered. Okay.
So what is the scope of HR in hospitals? Hello.
For to answer the question, but I can certainly that if care is going to take a center, I don't know, people should HR be any far behind? So it's almost obvious to me that HR is going to play a large role in hospitals, and thanks to COVID, this is going to happen even more now.
So the last question is from Manpreet Kaur. Which sector you think with the maximum growth except the health sector after COVID-19?
Oh, no doubt in my mind, it's internet, and whether it's internet streaming or internet products or internet marketing, or all sorts of other things. You know, anything that is related to internet and live streaming. That I think is the number is going to be very close to the health story as it unfolds.
A very good evening to all of you. I, Yoshita Bhatyal of PG1, on behalf of JK Business School, would like to thank our guest speaker of the day under Leadership Talk, Dr. Subhashish Sircar, for his valuable session and inspiring words. Also, I want to thank our Director Sir, Dean Ma'am, faculty, staff members, and students for attending an interactive session. In such a short time, you have made us learn and understand what are the traits and skills a leader should have. And as a leader, it is your responsibility to have faith in your vision. Sharing success, creating innovative things, and never be biased. That's how you can find success in your life and be a successful leader. I'm sure all the students present here will have a lot to take away from this session. Once again, a heartiest thanks, sir. Soon we would like to see you in the campus after the end of the lockdown. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.